kama bado tumesalia kwa kusimama, wacha nimkaribishe Bishop Jackson Mutugi aweze kutuongoza katika maombi wa kanisa la EAPC. Karibu sana Bishop.
Na tuombe. Mungu wetu, Muumba wetu, uliye juu na hata hapa mbinguni, watoa shukrani zetu zote kwa kutupea safari njema tukaweza kufika mahali hapa salama salamini. Tunakushukuru Mungu wetu ni kwa sababu ya kutupea kipawa cha uhai siku ya leo. Hatuna budi Mungu wetu kukushukuru. Ni kwa sababu ya kutupea kiongozi wetu rais ambaye mwenye busara akaweza kumteua naibu wetu wa rais ambaye ametupa mwaliko huu. Tunaomba Baba wetu, wewe mwenye hekima na maarifa, ukawape nguvu na uweza wa kuongoza nchi yetu, wakisaidiwa na waheshimiwa wetu na wa MCA wetu wote na opinion leaders wote, ili Mungu wakaweze kuongoza nchi hii kwa heshima ya neno lako mfalme. Tunaomba wakati huu tunapoendelea sasa kusikiza kutoka kwa kiongozi wetu, Bwana Mungu Muumba wetu, ambaye wewe ndiye mwenye nguvu zote, tunakuomba mwalimu wetu ambaye ni Roho Mtakatifu akaweze kuwa ndani ya kiongozi wetu katika maelekezo yote, kama katika mashauri yetu yote, ili tukaweze Bwana kuwa watu walio na hekima ya kukaa katika kuelewa na kujafanya yote yanayoweza kufanya nchi yetu kuendelea mbele. Asante Bwana, ni kwa sababu ya wakati huu tunaomba nguvu na uweza kutoka kwako ikawe pamoja nasi. Na ni katika jina la Yesu Kristo aliye Bwana mkombozi wetu tunaomba na kuamini. Amen. Amen.
Kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, naomba sote tuketi. Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais Profesa Kithure Kindiki, Gavana, Seneta, wabunge wetu wa kitaifa na waheshimiwa wawakilishi wa gatuzi nambari 13, wataalam mbalimbali na viongozi wa kidini mliofika, vijana, mabibi na mabwana. Kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, nikubalie nikualike uweze kutuongoza. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency Governor Muthomi Njuki and your deputy, the honorable members of Parliament, Senator for Tharaka Nithi and the members of the 3 constituencies present, the former governor of Tharaka Nithi, the first governor, the Honorable Ragwa, the former Governor of Nairobi County, Anne Kananu, and an export of Tharaka Nithi, distinguished professionals from various organizations, members of the County Assembly, our dear sister, the Women Rep, Susan, the leaders who have come from across Tharaka Nithi County. Good morning. Nimewasalimia hamjambo. Wacha nichukue nafasi hii kuwakaribisha katika makao rasmi ya Naibu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Karibuni. Ya pili niwaambie kwamba tumekuwa na vikao kama hivi na kaunti zingine kadhaa na tutaendelea na vikao kama hivi mpaka tujumuishe kaunti zote 47 za Jamhuri ya Kenya. Nafikiri Tharaka Nithi ni kama kaunti ya 4 sasa ambao tumefanya kikao kama hiki, na nitachukua muda kidogo kuwaeleza madhumuni ya mkutano ya leo. Mmekaribishwa. Leo ni siku ya Tharaka Nithi. Feel at home. This is your day and we are not in a hurry. We are not in a hurry. Hatuna haraka. So msiwe na haraka ya kutoka hapa. Mmepata breakfast? I hope so. Kuna hata chai ya saa 4. Kuna lunch. Kuna chai ya saa 10. And because today is your day, hata mkitaka kukaa mpaka jioni, you are welcome. Si namna hiyo? Mkutano huu utachukua mwelekeo ambao nitaeleza hivi karibuni, hivi sasa. Na baada ya ratiba rasmi, the official program, you are allowed to hang around, relax, and enjoy this area, because this is a facility of the people of Kenya, the government of Kenya, and Tharaka Nithi is part of Kenya. So, naweza hang around hapa, mchukue selfie. Hata wale ambao sio, naona wengine hapa ni watu ya my generation and some are older than me. Sisi we are a bit conservative, lakini kuna vijana wale ambao ni Gen Z na hao wengine. Tuko na swimming pool hapa, mnaweza fanya swimming. Sisi my generation sio ya swimming pool. Sisi tunajua swimming pool ni ya vijana, so it's available here. You can use it. Nimeitana mkutano wa leo kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu wakati Rais William Ruto alikuwa anaomba kiti ya urais, mimi na wengi ya viongozi wetu wa Tharaka Nithi tulikuwa mlengo wake wa kisiasa. Kweli si kweli? Na pole sijatambua deputy governor wa zamani ako hapa, ule Mrethi. Nimeona pia former member of parliament for Tharaka, Alex Mborimwiru, asante. Na tuko na former assistant minister Francis Kagwema and former DG, former member of parliament for Tharaka, Francis Kagwema. And I've seen Petki, former assistant minister also for trade, Petki Miriti, and former member of parliament for Chuka, for Nithi that time. So I think we are full house. Asanteni sana kwa kukuja kwa hii mkutano. Ni kama iko Murango. Mheshimiwa Murango Mwenda, my senior, and former member of parliament for Tharaka. So asante kwa kukuja. We are full house. Tuko full house. I've seen former MCAs, nimeona Zakari Mpana na wengine. We have many. Na huyo I think we are full house. Niko tuna apology ya maafisa wetu wawili wa serikali, wale colleagues tunafanya nao kwa national government. They should have been here, but kuna mahali nimewatuma kazi. PS wa Fisheries, Mining and Blue Economy, PS Betsy Njagi, nimewatuma kule Nyanza. Wameenda na Waziri Joho kazi ya serikali. So ametuma apology, na pia Director General wa Kenya Wildlife Service, Dr. Kanga, who is also from our county, tumekuwa na yeye hapa, lakini ako na board ya KWS, ameomba pia apology. I hope Mzalendo is here. Yep, Mzalendo Kebunja is there, former Director General of the Museums of Kenya. So I hope many of us are here. Na wale hawako wametuma apology. Wakati rais alikuwa anatafuta kura ya kuwa rais, wengi wetu tulikuwa katika timu yake. Katika kila county, timu yetu tulikuwa tunaenda kabla ya uchaguzi, tunaketi na washikadau katika county, tunakubaliana, je, tukipata serikali ni mambo gani tutayapa kipaumbele katika county hiyo. Tulifanya hivyo katika county zote 47. Na pale Tharaka Nithi, nakumbuka tulikuwa pale Kadhwana katika County Economic Forum. And at the end of the County Economic Forum, we were signing county economic charters. Kweli si kweli? Wakati tumeenda around the country, tukasema tukipata kiti ama tukipata serikali, kwa county ya Tharaka Nithi kwa mfano, tutatia maanani mambo ya miundo msingi, barabara, tutatia maanani mambo ya stima, tutatia maanani mambo ya maji, tutatia maanani mambo ya masoko ili wabiashara na kina mama wasikue wanapigwa na jua wakati wanafanya kazi yao ya biashara. Tukasema vile vile tukipata serikali tutajaribu kufanya ile mambo ya kibiashara na kilimo ambayo yanaleta mapato kwa mfuko wa mwananchi, tuboreshe sekta hizo za kilimo. Pale Tharaka Nithi kwa mfano kwa sababu nilikuwa pale na sisi zote tulikuwa pale, viongozi wetu walikuwa pale, tukakubaliana kwa mfano tuko na sekta ya majani chai, tuko na maziwa, tuko na ndengu, tuko na kahawa na other value chains ambao tulikubaliana. Kweli si kweli? Kwa sababu vile vile nilikuwa na bahati kuwa mmoja wa wale waliandika manifesto ya chama chetu. Tukajumuisha zile priorities, vile vitu muhimu kwa kila county, tukaweka katika manifesto ya UDA, manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. Na tukaandika pale katika hiyo manifesto ya kwamba kila mwaka chama chetu kitafanya vikao katika county hizi zote. Kwa kila county tutafanya kikao kila baada ya mwaka moja kuuliza tumepiga hatua ngapi kati ya zile vitu tulisema tutafanya katika miaka 5. Mwaka huu wa kwanza tumefanya lipi, ni lipi hatujafanya, kwa nini, na tunafanya nini kuhakikisha kwamba mwaka ujao tunafanya yale ambayo hatujafanya. Na hiyo kazi ya kufuatilia miradi ya serikali na vile serikali inatimiza ahadi kwa wananchi, tukaweka kwa hiyo manifesto, tukasema hiyo itakuwa kazi ya naibu wa kiongozi wa chama ambaye atakuwa naibu wa rais. So the work of monitoring, evaluating, tracking progress of the commitments our party made to the people of Kenya was assigned to the deputy party leader, who before election was the deputy party leader, but after election would be the deputy president. Sinamna hiyo? For the last 2 years, we have not done anything because of the reasons which we know, because our brother who was here was not bothered with the development of anything. Our brother spent 2 years in this place and never called a single county to ask them, what did we commit to do? What have we done? And what are we not doing well? Not a single meeting for 2 years. He's no longer here, he left office, so we are the people now here. So we must do what we ought to have done. So hii mkutano sio ya kudiscuss former deputy president, ni mkutano ya kuambia why I have called you. I'm explaining why I have called you. Because hiyo kazi haikupata mtu wa kufanya. Na ndio umeona serikali imepata reputational problems in many parts of the country because there is nobody to assist the president to track the development agenda of the country. So, we have wasted 2 years, but it's okay. There is still time. So this meeting, therefore, is not a political meeting. Huu si mkutano ya siasa. Huu ni mkutano wa serikali na ni mkutano wa maendeleo. Niseme hivi kwa sababu tuko na viongozi wa siasa hapa, lakini you know they are the leaders we elected, isn't it? So we cannot have a meeting ya serikali, national government, with the people of Tharaka Nithi without the leaders of that county. Okay? But it's not a political meeting. In our presence also we have people aspiring to be leaders. Si ni kweli? Nimeona wengine hapa wanataka kuwa magavana. Kuna wengine wanataka kuwa women reps. Si wako area? Si aspirants wamekuja? Si wasimame tuone kama wako ama hawakuitwa. Kuna wa MP, naona MP aspirants, naona ndio hao MP aspirants, women rep aspirants, wako hapa. There are many, ndio hao. Lakini huu mkutano sio mkutano wa siasa, yani nani atakuwa governor, senator, mbunge, women rep ama MCA. Sawa? So MCA ako hapa as a leader, not as anything else. The aspirants are here as people who are mobilizing, you know, they have intention to vie in another election. So they are also legitimate stakeholders. There is no problem. We can discuss development and leave out the politics to the camps that will emerge automatically when politics set in. Kwa hivyo hiyo sio mkutano ya siasa. Okay? I have also not called this meeting to campaign for President Ruto because there is no election taking place. He is president, isn't it? But time will come when I'll come to campaign for William Ruto during the next election. Not now. Na hiyo sasa ikifika hiyo, ile group itakuwa kwa chama chetu, hiyo ndio group tutasonga naye. Hiyo kwa sababu sasa ni kutafuta kura ya urais. Na ujue kama rais achaguliwi, kuna deputy atachaguliwa hapo. So hiyo itakuwa siasa, but that will be at the tail end. We cannot mix those issues now with the development of our county. Rais mwenyewe umeona wakati wameshindana na mpinzani wake, ule mzee wetu, former prime minister. Very bitter election. But after that, sasa rais ndio anampigia campaign aende Addis Ababa akuwe chairman wa African Union. The biggest campaigner. And that shows you must be careful. Maybe my brothers who are still running for office at our county and other levels. Be careful. Don't behave as if the next election is the beginning and the end of your life. Don't make your relationship with other people so bad that after that you cannot talk. And I'm glad to see some of our former leaders here. Because if they had broken relationships with the rest of us, they would not be here. Sinamna hiyo? Wapigiwe makofi former leaders wote. I've also seen our professionals here. I've seen my senior brother, Professor Kindiki, a very distinguished son of Kenya. He's from our county. Are there other professors here? Professor Randu Joseph, who for many years was the departmental head at the University of Nairobi. I think is transport or something. He was doing something in geography. You know, these are our biggest assets. So if we politicize these meetings, they will keep away. Because their business is not in deciding who is the MCA, who is whatever, but they have a lot of ideas they can give us to help us benefit as Tharaka Nithi County, as the rest of Kenya benefits from this administration which we voted for. So that is the beauty. This meeting, therefore, is not a political meeting. So if you have come with your supporters, because Nini Wambie, today is not the day. Na mukifanya hiyo mambo hapa tutajiharibia. Na wewe utajiharibia. But tomorrow, when you're doing your campaign huko nyumbani, you're free to compete. So that's why I call this meeting. I call this meeting because we made very serious commitments. We need to track where we are. And therefore, it is my intention that every year we will convene for purposes of accountability. That at the end of every year, the pressure I want you people now and the rest of Kenya to put on me as Deputy President is to ask me after 1 year, on behalf of President Ruto, can you tell us what his administration has done on roads, energy, water, electricity, you know, all these things, isn't it? Where the president can join us, fine, but as his principal assistant, that's the way I understand my work. My work is to support him so that his administration fulfills its commitments to the people of Kenya. So kuna watu naona saa ingine wanani advice, wananiambia sijui ufanye hivi, sijui ukai kama unapingana na rais. And I'm wondering, is the work of the deputy president to oppose the president? Is that the job description? Wale wanataka kuoppose rais, watoke nje, wajoin Kalonzo, Wajakoya na hiyo timu ingine, waanze kuoppose wakiwa huko nje. There is no problem. But you cannot be a deputy president and sabotaging the same government, or a minister flying a flag and then you are sabotaging the same administration. Not possible. So tafuta na hao wengine, hiyo group ingine, mutupige mkiwa nje, we are ready for you. Na tutawajibu sana saa hii, tutakutana huko mbele. Because all these characters, hakuna mtu hajakuwa kiongozi. Si Kalonzo Musyoka alikuwa vice president? Si ni kama mimi? Yeye alikuwa 5 years under Kibaki. So akifika pale Tharaka Nithi, the people will ask him, when you were vice president, can you give us one project hapa ile ulitusukumia? Because that is the question I expect to be asked by the people of Kitui when President Ruto and myself go to look for votes in Kitui. Yeah, so that's my understanding of my job. I have to support the president. I have to fight for him. I have to assist him and supplement him because he can't be everywhere. Na hii kazi kama hii routine work like this, that is the work of the principal assistant of the president, so that we retain the work of the president to be general vision carry, the carrying of the national vision and performing high-level presidential events. For example, some of the things we want to unlock in our county. When the roads are unlocked and they are complete, now he comes as president to commission complete projects. Lakini saa hii kwa sababu zimekwama, ni kazi yangu kukwamua. Si namna hiyo? Nitafute mawaziri, nitafute ma-PS, nitafute everybody. Ikikuamuliwa ijengwe, rais anakuja. But it can't be the president coming there to try and unlock projects. Yet he has a cabinet, he has a deputy. That is my understanding of my responsibility. Wale wengine wananiambia sijui pinga rais kama fulani, I think they are addressing the wrong person. Yeah. Maybe they are talking to somebody else. Sio mimi. So we intend to be very focused and very deliberate, and we mean business. And I want to assure you, the people of Tharaka Nithi, as I've assured other parts of the country, you will get maximum benefits from this administration. Otherwise, what business do I have to hang around if we will not get maximum benefits? So we'll do our best. Lakini musiende kudanganywa ati ndio sijui hii county isaidiwe, ati the next county must lose. We cannot win, isn't it? We cannot get what we want. So who said for one county to gain, another one must lose? It's not true. Yeah. Because we have a country to keep. And therefore, mimi naomba tu munitoe kwa hii siasa ya sijui ya MP, ya MCA, ya governor, ya senator. I will leave that. Munisaidie. Kwa sababu mkiniingiza hapo, whether you are defending me or attacking me, unless you really are sabotaging me, you should not drag me in those politics ya nyumbani. Unless your aim is to sabotage me. Kama hiyo ndio aim ni sawa, nitaelewa. So sasa nikianza hapo, ati sijui this ward versus the other ward, this constituency versus, we will lose it. And I saw how my predecessor lost favor, even from leaders from his own village. You know? Even your own MP, akutaki. I cannot wait for that to happen. If kina Kareke here and kina Njuki, kina Murugara think I am doing nothing, what business do I have to go to Nyanza and other places? Sini wachane nayo. Yeah, if my own brothers, my own neighbors don't think I have of any value. So musiningise kwa hiyo mambo ya nyumbani. Pia niseme ya kwamba and I mean business. Because you are all my people, you are all my brothers and sisters. I cannot come here and start supporting this one against the other. All of you are running for MP. Of course, all of you will not get the seat. The seat will go with one person. Sindio? So the pressure you should put on me, na sio kwa magazeti, sio kwa mitandao, look for ways. Look for ways. Si muko hapa leo? I have not called you. Nilikupigia simu? Si uko hapa? So there are ways of getting me, if you want. So, hii mambo ya sijui chukua simu, sijui nini, tuache hiyo. Kwa sababu saa hii sina hata simu where I am. And many people are calling. And from here, I'll go to the next event. But you'll find me, and the pressure I want from you is pressure. How do we push our road network? How do we push our electricity? How do we push our water? How do we push our, county aggregation and industrial park, which has not started, and we need to unlock that as well. That is the pressure I want from you, because if we push the development agenda, the government will look good, our people will also benefit. Si namna hiyo? Lakini musiende kuniambia kwa ati unachukua TikTok, unaenda kusema, sijui tunaambia naibu wa rais, sijui nini. Sasa, so unless you're part of my opponents, if you are part of my opponents, it's okay. There's no problem. Tutakuja sasa kupiga campaign, nikijua you are on the other side. Yeah. Alafu wengine, you have a problem with the next person. Uko na problem na MCA, uko na problem na governor, senator. You take advantage ya hiyo shida uko nayo, then you drag me there. I'm defending the DP. I don't need defense. I don't need defense. If the people of Tharaka Nithi think I add no value to their equation of development, I have no business to come there ati mimi ndio hapo Chuka, Marimanti, Chogoria, ati kubembeleza watu. Please, let me look for defense huko mbali. Nyumbani we will find a way. Sindio? So you take advantage because you are fighting with the next person. Anza kusema mimi na defend naibu wa rais. My friend, this thing is so huge. That person you are attacking, you know, we need every energy aligned in the same direction. Yeah. Wewe unajigamba you are defending the deputy president. If this work is left to you alone, you will not take it anywhere. Kazi ya kusongesha Kenya mbele. Ndio unaona watu wengi wamejaribu imeshindikana. Kalonzo amejaribu miaka 50 imeshindikana. Sasa amezama. Sank. Hata ule rafiki yetu mzee mwingine, he was in town. Na hakuwa mtu ya mchezo. Lakini sasa tunashukuru Mungu amesikizana na rais, anaenda kuwa kiongozi wa Afrika. Yeah. Hii kitu sio rais ya Kenya. Kama unashindwa na hiyo yako kidogo hapo ya MCA, alafu unataka kudrag ya Kenya kuipeleka hapo. So sikiza. Mimi sikiza. Pale nyumbani, I need your blessings and your support, all of you. Not some of you. Because some of you hatutafika anywhere. I need everybody, including the person you have a problem with. I need that person. Yes. Tumesikizana? Yeah. So this is home talk, in the family talk, don't worry. Let me go back to the default system, which is the national discussion we are having. So we have an agenda. This is the government, and I've been I played some role in the Kibaki administration, in the Uhuru administration, in different capacities, and now in the Ruto administration. As far as I'm aware, the first government to do a manifesto was the Kibaki government. But it was never followed up for implementation. Tulichaguliwa, Kibaki akachaguliwa, wale walichaguliwa, there was no implementation. Luckily, Kibaki had a very strong focus on the priorities he had committed to the people. So he succeeded, but there was no monitoring and evaluation, and there was no tracking of progress. And when Kibaki was asking to be re-elected in 2007, nobody asked him, have you delivered what you told us? It was just simple politics. Yeah, Kibaki was a Raila. And 41 against 1. Very dangerous politics. Uhuru came with a manifesto. But we never followed the implementation of that manifesto. And when Uhuru was asking for re-election in 2017, nobody asked him what he had done with the first term. In fact, he came with a new manifesto for the second term. Ile aliita Big Four. Si ni kweli? Yeah. But this time round, this government is going to add value to our governance in 2 respects. One, we are tracking the 168 commitments that we made to the people of Kenya in 10 sectors, 10 areas, one by one, to see how far and how many of them we can implement before the next election. Ndio hiyo manifesto isiwe ni karatasi. And I'm going to demonstrate to you just now how we are doing that. Number 2, I suspect the next election, more than any other election, this government will be asked, you promised us this, tell us what you've done. Si ni kweli? Yeah. So Kenya is maturing. That is good democracy, because if a president does not get re-elected because they have not performed, that is a very good democratic culture. But you cannot remove a president because of stupid politics ya ukabila, sijui ya nini, mambo ya bure hapo, you know. So, good people, mimi nataka niwaambie, we will do our best. The last 2 years, President Ruto has struggled with very difficult issues, just like President Kibaki when he took over from President Moi. President Kibaki's first term was terrible. It was difficult. He himself was unwell. And some characters around him were the ones running government and making decisions, making very unpopular pronouncements. But Kibaki was very committed. In 2 years, President Kibaki became the most hated and the most unpopular person in Kenya. In 2005, 2 years after his election, the first time, 3 years, he brought a referendum. He was defeated in that referendum. You remember Banana Orange? He was defeated. He dissolved the entire cabinet. He was left with the old man, is it Moody or Worry or something? Yeah. So what is happening around here is something that has happened before. And why President Kibaki and President Ruto? Ask yourself why. It is because any transformative leader who has an idea of what to do about key sectors that define a country's transformation, many times the decisions that leader has to make to transform the country are usually unpopular. They are not popular. Populist leaders make popular decisions. Okay? I'll give you an example. This universal health care that we are focused on implementing is not the invention of Kenya Kwanza. Professor Tharaka and the others, the scholars will tell you, President Kibaki intended to bring universal health coverage when Charity Ngilu was minister. Aka-introduce the topic, siasa kama hii ikakuja, Kibaki retreated. Ikakufa. President Uhuru had universal health care in his manifesto. I'm part of the team that wrote that manifesto, the first term. Akaona it's very unpopular because you have to increase the levies that you're charging people and so forth. Akaikalia first term. He thought he can introduce it in second term when he's going home because he will not be looking for re-election. So in 2018, Aka announced the Big Four agenda. One of them was universal health coverage. Cecily Kariuki was the minister for health. Siasa ikakuja, Uhuru backtracked. I remember Uhuru asking us, sisi tuko na insurance? Kama watu wamekataa health insurance, sisi tuko na insurance? Alafu akauliza deputy yake that time. I just overheard, nilikuwa area tu, nilikuwa hapo, sikuwa karibu. Nikasikia akauliza deputy yake, we William, si mimi na watu tuko na nyumba? Hii housing program, kwa sababu housing ilikuwa kwa Big Four ya Uhuru pia, isn't it? Si wewe uko na nyumba na mimi niko na nyumba. Hii manyumba ni ya nini, tuwache? Wakawacha. Brothers and sisters, I'll shortly tell you what housing and what a health insurance for every Kenyan means to the economy and to household incomes in a short while. But before I do that, I want to say for the last 2 years, President Ruto has struggled with what we call macroeconomic stability. Macroeconomic stability means, for those who are not experts like myself, I'm not also an expert in the economy, but I have learned from the experts. Macroeconomic stability are the fundamental foundational economic growth indicators that must be in place before you start now building the growth of the economy. One indicator is the strength of the currency. The strength of your currency versus international currencies is one indicator. Another one is something called interest rates. The rate at which people borrow money, those who are doing biashara, nini, interest rates. And are businesses having access to affordable credit at moderate interest rates? The third indicator is called inflation. How fast do the price of goods keep on rising? The fourth indicator is called the price of fuel, because fuel, it defines so many things. It defines the cost of power, it defines the cost of transport, it defines the cost of production, industrialization, and what have you. So the price of fuel, interest rates, inflation, strength of the currency, and of course the country's liquidity, its ability to manage its liquidity. The debt situation, is the debt sustainable? Those are 5 macroeconomic indicators. By the time President Ruto took power, took the leadership of the country, Kenya was on the verge of insolvency. Many people think, watu wengi wanafikiria wakati tunasema nchi ilikuwa mahali pabaya, wanafikiria tunajaribu kupiga Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. The country was not in that shape because of President Uhuru. It was because of global situation. The main one being the total shutdown of the economy for nearly 1.5 years because of COVID-19. Nobody in Kenya left their home for more than a year. Curfew, you can't go anywhere. There is no business running. So you can imagine shutting down the economy even for a day is costly. Ask me, I am the immediate Minister for Interior. When riots used to happen and the economy of Nairobi is shut for one day, the economic cost is so huge, is in billions. So you can imagine the entire country shutting down for 1.5 years. That is what caused all the problems we found when we took over. The dollar was very strong against the shilling. President Ruto in the last 2 years has worked on the interventions and policy decisions that have made the dollar stable. It was at 165, 167. For more than 1 year now, it's operating between 127 and 130. And there's every likelihood it will go down. People will ask you, sasa, mimi mutu ya nyumbu metengero kana atonga, ya? Kana mbumete chera, mambo ya dollar. How am I affected by the dollar? I will show you how you are affected by the dollar if you are from Shera or Gatonga or Ngeru or anywhere else in the county. Hizo vitu watu yetu wanaenda kununua madukani hapo Marimandi, hapo Chogoria, hapo Kadhwana. Most of those items are imported from abroad because our manufacturing capacity is very, very small. All the household items, many of them are imported. They are imported in bulk from China, from other countries. The person importing them pays for those items using, they have to convert Kenya shillings into dollars. So if the shilling is weak, you need more shillings per dollar. And you use more money per container to bring one container. And when you go to sell in Chogoria, the price, if the shilling is weak, the price will be higher to the customer buying those things in the shops in Chogoria. If the shilling is strong, like it is now, you use less shillings to get $1. You will therefore use less money to bring one container of the merchandise. The value, the price of that item in the rural areas will be a bit moderate. That is the connection between a strong dollar and the person in Kondi, and the person in Mudambe. So our shilling now is strong. It will become even stronger. Inflation was at 9.6%. Now it is oscillating between 2.7 and 3%. Interest rates, the central bank lending rates was, a year ago, was 15.8%. Today, it is 11.25%. It is going to drop the next time central bank meets in the monthly policy review meeting. Meaning, again, people will ask, what is the connection between interest rates and an ordinary person doing some juakali business in Chuka Town, okay, in Chakariga, or even in Magutuni? Interest rates. This is it. That when interest rates are high, as they have been, banks don't lend businesses any money. They lend government because government is broke. The interest is very high, so they buy what we call government paper. They give government money to run the country. So businesses don't if you try getting a loan, if you have a small business, Apple, the interest rate is so high to discourage you because there is already a market of 16, 17%, 15%, they can give credit to government. If the government rate, the central bank rating rate, now which is low, banks will be forced to give affordable credit to as many businesses as possible, including small businesses in our rural places. That is what happened in the Kibaki time. That's why many businesses grew in Kibaki time, because banks were literally hawking loans. Bank hawk loans in the working places, forcing people, literally begging people to take loans. But because of high interest rates, banks stopped dealing with poor small businesses, and because they are lending government. So there's a connection. For 2 years, President Ruto has struggled with macroeconomic stability, interest rates, the strength of the shilling, inflation, and also the price of fuel, which was at 217, now it's about 160 something. And it will come down, it will continue coming down. What President Ruto has done in 2 years, it took Kibaki 5 years. Because the first time, Kibaki was so unpopular because he was trying to reverse the Moi economy, the macroeconomic indicators for the Moi economy. Remember, growth, economic growth, by the time Moi was leaving, was negative 0.1%. By the time 2007, end of first term of Kibaki, growth was 7.1%. But you see, people don't eat growth. They don't, so they were asking, yeah, Kibaki, you're telling us GDP and growth and interest rate, but we can't see anything. The same questions the people of Kenya are asking today. But the macroeconomic environment must be built first. There is no economics. You cannot deal with the microeconomic issues unless you tackle interest rates, strength of the currency, da 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 da. It took Kibaki 5 years. It has taken William Ruto 2 years. And in these 2 years, 1 year, he had a very, very, very disruptive opposition from outside. The second year, he had a terrible opposition from inside his government. Yet, he has brought the kind of impact that I have told you at the macro level. Now, what remains now the next 2 years is to work on what is music to our ears. Household incomes, job creation, microeconomic transformation of real sectors where our people derive their livelihood from. The Pesa Mfukoni agenda. The problem is that we said we will do ABCD and bring Pesa Mfukoni in 5 years, because that is the constitutional term. But on day one, you have a dishonest internal opposition inciting the public. Why A 5-year program should have been done in a year. And we are talking about a country recovering and a world recovering from a terrible post-COVID economy. It's not possible. And you know that lie has sold because lying is cheap and lying is popular. And lying doesn't require any sophistication. You don't have to be a leader to lie. Anybody can incite the public. True or false? People don't hear things like wait or we are doing. They don't want. They want now. Where is the money in the pocket? So what some cheap leaders do, first they take advantage of the way human beings are wired to complain. You know, human beings are wired to complain, and we always want instant. That's how we are created. Hata watoto wanasema nataka mkate saa hii. Mtoto anasema I want bread now. Ukimwambia I have to send the house help to the kiosk, anasema now, mommy, now. I'm hungry now. So that's how human beings are wired. That's why the Israelites gave Moses a hard time in the desert. Because they are being told there is a land of milk and honey, but they can't see it. They can only see the desert. They are seeing the environment around them there. So what incomplete leaders do, they take advantage of those sentiments and they start now spinning, you see? Nothing is happening. There is nothing. Muliahidiwa, which is okay for somebody outside government. But we cannot do it ourselves. This team is the one that created this government. True or false? Tharaka Nithi vote for this government was one of the highest in Kenya, percentage-wise. Isn't it? So this is our government. This is our government, my friend. The people who never voted for this government are very few. Alafu, because of these challenges I've explained, mtu anakuja anawambia pana, tutoke kwa hii serikali, tuachane nayo, mwaka imeisha, mwaka mbili imeisha. But 5 years are not all over. Yeah? 5 years are not over. Even building a house, you have to dig downwards first before you start building upwards, isn't it? Ukitaka kuweka nyumba ya makaratasi, you don't need to dig down. You just put papers on top. But when the wind comes, it will just be blown off. So, leaders who are incomplete, they take advantage of those sentiments to incite the public. And the public loves incitement. It's the easiest job. Anybody can incite the public. Even the most, sitaki kusema kitu hapo, lakini anybody can incite the public. Hey, chochea. That is how Barabbas secured his release on the day Jesus Christ was put on the cross. The Bible says his main job was causing insurrection and inciting the public against the authorities. Nyo Biblia ni yuga wakukana ta yuga aeretwe athaikitwe awetwe athaikwa nuntu wa kwingira mwingi kuchochea umma. And 99% of the people calling themselves leaders are in that business. The work of a leader is not to listen to what the people are saying and assist them in saying it. Because if you listen to what they are saying and you assist them in saying it, so what is your role? And number two, many of the things the people say are not correct. But they say it because they do not have the facts that you and I have. They have not come to current, they have not been briefed by the deputy president, so they don't know. So the work of a leader is to guide the community, to guide the people, to tell them this one is okay. Yes, we need these 5 things, but this one, right now, it is possible. This other one will require a year or 2. That is the work of a leader. If your work is to follow the people, you have no business calling yourself a leader because it is the people leading you. Isn't it? So who is leading the other? Yeah. So I expect you as opinion shapers, as leaders, to lead. And leading means you explain. You help people to see a picture they didn't have. You assist them because God has blessed you, you have some extra information, assist them to see things differently. But if people shout and say, we want this now, and it is not possible, then you go there and carry placards and start saying, yes, 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 we want. You have no business calling yourself a leader. And that's why you see a good leader is not popular all the time. But a good leader is popular at the right time. I repeat, a good transformative leader is not popular all the time. I have told you how Kibaki was very unpopular in 2005, 2 years after he was elected almost unanimously. But by the time President Kibaki was leaving in 2010, 2011, many people in Kenya were saying, I wish Kibaki could get at that term. True or false? Those of us who use this road to central Kenya, that's when the dual carriageway, Thika superhighway, started being built in 2009, 7 years after Kibaki's election. Not in 2003. That's when people saw the superhighway. Yeah, 50 kilometers from Nairobi to Keno. Kibaki did that without speaking Kikuyu and without climbing on trees to explain and publicize his love for the people of Gema. In fact, I was a young man. I served briefly in his government. If you are from central Kenya and where we come from, and you try to speak to President Kibaki in your mother tongue, he will tell you off. He has no time for nonsense. Yet, he transformed Kenya, and he transformed even our rural economy without speaking Kikuyu and without pontificating how he loves the Gema people. True or false? President Uhuru, who also appeared, also came from our region generally, also did wonderful programs. And I've just given Thika Superhighway for Kibaki. Kibaki did many things across Kenya. But it doesn't mean if you do across Kenya, you'll not do where you come from. You can do at home and away. Yeah. Usidanganywa ati for you can only succeed if you do things where you come from and ignore everybody else. Because again, you'll not have a country. President Uhuru, you know, for me, at the last 2 years of his administration, we had political differences with President Uhuru when he chased me away without giving me a reason. I even asked him to explain, because it's not so much about the job. I was not keen on the job. In fact, that break gave me a bit of time to reorganize my personal issues, which had gone haywire because of my, I'm such a passionate person. I get committed to public service. So some private issues ilikuwa imeharibika. Nilitengeneza wakati Uhuru alinifukuza. Sasa niko sawa. Nilitengeneza zile miaka 2 Uhuru alinifukuza, hapo ndio nilijipanga mambo yangu ya nyumbani hapo. Unaona fence imeanguka, unarekebisha fence because you are not available. Fence imeanguka when you are serving the public. So President Uhuru, I had problems with him, political problems, the last 2 years after he chased me away without giving me a reason. So I told President Uhuru, it is okay, I am going to leave because I see you have made a decision. But please, tell the people of Tharaka Nithi and their Meru people and the people of Kenya, tell them, what is this big sin that this son of Tharaka Nithi has done? Ndio wajue, nimeiba? Am I corrupt? Have I insubordinated? What have I done? So, hakunijibu, tukakosana kidogo. But to his credit, President Uhuru is the one who started the Dongokundu bypass in Mombasa. which we've just completed. We found it at the tail end as Kenya Kwanza. President Uhuru, for us locally now, okay, because you need examples away and local. For us, the highway Kibaki left in Keno, he took it to Marwa. Isn't it? Isn't it? Sio ni kusonga. Hata sisi, hata kama iendi the way we wanted, iende, but still our journey is shorter today. Mpaka pale Makutano. True or false? Without speaking Kikuyu, without preaching to us every day how he loves Gema. Yeah? So I'm wondering, these other people who say they love us, they have never convened one single county, including the county they come from, to discuss development ya hiyo county. Hii upendo ni upendo ya kupeleka wapi? Munisaidie tu kuelewa. Me, I don't understand. What kind of love? And must you speak about it? Just do it. Just do. There's love. Just do it. We will see it. So today, I have called you to tell you that this administration, having laid the foundation, the economic foundation, that would have even taken longer. Okay? Kwa sababu kama bei ya unga 2 kilos ni 250 na inaongezeka by 10 shillings every week, you have to put money in subsidizing production to have enough maize so that if you have enough maize, you don't import anything, the price of maize flour will come down. That is what President Ruto was doing for the last 2 years. That is what has made unga to come from 250 to 120, around there, 110. Wearing sufurias on the head could not have changed. And the people wearing sufurias on the head, they had their time. Some were vice president. Everybody. Even some of the people I saw the other day, I don't know, saying things, they were also in government. They were ministers, of water ministers, I don't know what. So, mimi nilikuwa interior minister Makambili. Nilisukumana na 3 things. And I didn't know I would leave after 2 years. In fact, I thought best case scenario, I'll be there for 5 years. I thought so. Sikujua nitakaa 2 years. But there was a problem in the north, ile banditry. There was a place in Lamu here, the Boni Enclave, where we have many people, including immigrant communities, even from Tharaka Nithi. They are doing agriculture in Lamu there. Terrorists were butchering them every day. So there was terror, there was banditry, na mambo ya passport. And today, now that I'm no longer in interior, if somebody asked me what I did as interior minister, I may not have done 10 things, but I'll quote the 3 things that I achieved. Isn't it? So, kwa sababu wakati wa siasa itafika, wale tutashindana nao, including my brother who was here. He was deputy president for 2 years. 2 years, deputy president. He will tell us also, as deputy president, what he did for all the counties of Kenya, including Tharaka Nithi. Mimi nimesema annually, every year, I will be giving my account. So yeye atasema, wakati alikuwa deputy president, he pushed this road, he pushed this project, he pushed this dam for us. Then hapo tutashindana mambo ya maendeleo. So it's going to be very rough. Watu wasifikirie, it's going to be so rough, my friend. Very rough. It's not going to be easy. You cannot come to inside people at burials. Mtu amefiwa na loved one, unakuleta vijana hapo kupiga kelele. Sijui kwa wedding. Ama musician ametengeneza event, it's not even your event. Wewe unaundadia hapo, unakuja kuleta kisirani. And that habit is dangerous habit. Our area where I was born, this area, general area, central, we are not known for violence. Those behaviors were elsewhere. For the first time, and I'm speaking as the immediate interior minister, I was so downcast to see people burning each other's property. in Karatina, in Embu, for the first time. People who know each other. Unajua ile duka ni ya fulani, supermarket ya nani, he has employed 20 children from here, unaenda unachoma. Dangerous politics, driven by poor leadership. And I have not said leaders should not listen. Listen and look for solutions. Not to listen and follow the crowd and incite them into anarchy, violence. Today, Kisumu, Kondele used to be the most volatile political town and area in Kenya, where people were burning each other's property and you disrupt transport. Today, the headquarters is in Embu. Hapo Embu kuna kijana amekaa hapo, ati ni mjanja sana, ni maarufu sana, hapo anasanya vijana hapo ya kufunga barabara. Your own parents are passing by there going to hospital. We kiongozi aina gani? You can say the same things you want to say, but don't disrupt the economy. Don't shut down the economy. Don't inconvenience innocent people who have nothing to do with politics. So it's not going to be easy. Nimeona kuna watu wanajipiga kifua, sijui vile watasema, sijui vile watafanya. They have no landing ground. It will be so rough. It will be rough. Ala, sasa niulize. Ile siasa nilikuwa nafanya hili kidogo, nilikuwa senator ile. Sikuwa na chochote. Sikuwa na kiti ya serikali. Sikuwa kwa executive. I had to go and beg other people. Oh, nisaidie barabara. Oh, nisaidie. Now I don't have to beg. Yeah. Alafu naniambia we go and start opposing President Ruto hapa. There is only one person who can countermand me in Kenya. Only one. The whole country, by the grace of God, na maombi yenu. Only one person. One. From the executive, judiciary, legislature, 2 levels of government, everywhere. The whole country, God, by His grace and your prayers, only one person can overturn my decision. Sio ni baraka? So we should make use of it to assist our county, to assist Kenya. Yeah. So, wale wanategea ati, yani, na sasa governor, my brother, bro, and these other brothers and sisters hapa, tukue serious, bro. You know I love you. You know that. As a brother. You know you are a classmate with my elder brother. Na mimi ni mtu ya respect relationships. But we must be serious now. I met with my sister Cess, the governor of Embu, who is also my sister and somebody I love and somebody we've walked a long journey together, politically. Kamwambia sasa wacha nikuongeleshe my sister, not as the deputy president of Kenya. Wacha nikuongelesha kama ndugu yako and your age mate. And you will do nothing about what I'm going to tell you. Amuliza governor, how is it possible? You're the national chairman of UDA. You are a UDA governor and the national chairman of the ruling party. Alafu mtuambie rais hawezi kuja Tharaka Nithi? Hata atapigwa kelele na nani? Wale mezama, tusidanganyane. So muniambie kama tukimaliza kuna mambo tunataka ku-unblock hapa na pale. Projects zingine zilikuwa zimekwama, tumepata solution. Once they are ready, mungetaka rais akuje? Yeah? Atakuwa well received? Are you sure? Kama kuna watu wanataka kupiga kelele, mimi niko tayari munipigie. I'm your son. There is no problem. Yeah. So, hiyo Embu tumesukuma. Hii Saturday tuko na event pale Embu ya 20,000 seated. Wakuketi hapo. Hii ni 1,000 na kitu. Hii ni 1,500 hapo. 20 seated. Ya maendeleo sio ya siasa. So watu wanaongea juu hapa, mtu amejawa na kiburi mingi. Hati sijui mimi, tumeona watu wengi my friend. We even disagreed with President Uhuru Kenyatta when he was the commander-in-chief, when it became necessary. Because kuna wakora walienda wakamteka nyara hapo, akalose something hapo. Lakini siku hizi tumekuwa marafiki. Nilikuta kulikuwa na mitego mingi ya kuseparate William Ruto na Uhuru Kenyatta, nikategua. Sasa, because we cannot afford to have our retired president talking with complaints out there. It is wrong for a country. And he is the only living former head of state we have. If the nation was in a crisis bigger than itself, we will require somebody with enough stature to be able even to speak to President Ruto and call the nation to order. Mzee Moi rested, Mzee Kibaki rested. That other person can only be a retired president, and that is Uhuru Kenyatta. He's the only one. The rest of us, we cannot, President Ruto is our boss. But as a retired head of state, he has the moral authority, if there are some things, to have a discussion with the sitting head of state, and they will agree on how to salvage the nation. So, sasa ni mabesti, tuko hivyo, tunaendelea kusonga namna hii. Alafu watu wengine wadogo hapa wanatutisha. It's because we don't talk. Wanatutisha, sijui tutafanya. Ufanye wapi? Pitie wapi, my friend? Utapitia wapi? Where now? Siku ile niwache. Sitaki kurudi kuongea mambo ya pale. Na wali ya karonguru karijagira nkanga mathoni nontu wakwaga inya. Wale wameelewa waeleze wale wengine. Karonguru karijagira nkanga mathoni nontu wakwaga inya. Na keno juzi bakura nkanga, lakini gatiena inya ya ukururia nkanga kaira mugunyeni. Aya. So nikimalizia what are we doing now? Hapo Tharaka Nithi, we know we have stalled projects. We don't have to repeat it here. I'm the one who launched all those projects. The only senator in Kenya who launched projects. That time, now, and maybe in the future. Na ungeona watu walikuwa wananisukuma hapo, wananipigia kelele hapo. The only senator, show me another one. So skiza. Lakini kidogo musipige Senator Gataya sana, kwa sababu even during my time when I was a senator for Tharaka Nithi, we had 47 elected senators of other counties. Siembu tulikuwa na Ndwiga, Meru tulikuwa na Kiraitu Murungi. Show me one project initiated by any of them as senators anywhere. After I left Senate, because I served for 2 terms, even now, one senator, including our own senator, hakuna. Even the Senate that will come, most likely there will be none. Nilikuwa na jaribu maujuzi hivi. Lakini sasa Mungu ametusaidia, sasa tuko sawa. Sisi ndio sasa tuko pale. So I know all those road projects. We are going to revive and complete all of them. It's as simple as that. So I want in our next annual review, because we have 2 working years left before the campaigns. After 1 year, I will come here, I will call you again, either here or in Kavana. You ask me, how has this government pushed the roads agenda, the stored roads, how many and where are we on that? Sinamna hiyo? All of them. Okay? We have electricity connections, different levels of connectivity. We're going to push it towards 100% in all the 3 constituencies. We are building, you know, what the work that remains now is now building the house upwards. And it has, and this will be my conclusion, it has 7 aspects. 1, it is revitalization of the sectors of the economy where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their livelihood from. Tunataka tubadilishe na tuongeze mapato katika sekta za uchumi ambazo wananchi wengi katika Jamhuri ya Kenya wanatoa mapato yao ya kila siku. Na hiyo ni katika sekta ya kilimo, ufugaji, masuala ya uvuvi for the western and coastal areas, and the blue economy and mining. That is what we call the real sector. 80% of the people of Kenya derive their household incomes from agriculture, livestock production, fisheries, blue economy, and fisheries. Already, if you do that, you'll have touched 80+% of the people of Kenya, especially at the grassroots. Hapa Tharaka Nithi, we know the value chains, where most of our people get their daily bread from. It is in tea, coffee, dairy, dengu, and the cereals. It's around there, isn't it? Those are the sectors we are investing. And also in introducing other value chains like cotton, which are dyed and so forth and so on. Because when you touch these sectors and the returns we get from them increase, you touch households. You touch every home where they were getting 10,000 per year. Okay, 10,000 per year is like 1,000 per month. They start getting 100,000 per year, which is like 10,000 a month. It looks more to you because you have money. But the ripple effect in the economy is tremendous. That is what we call bottom-up economic transformation. Revitalizing sectors where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their livelihoods. We have our value chains, we are working on them. And I'll give my accountability statement. in due course. The second thing we are doing is to put in place the support infrastructure to help these value chains bring in more wealth and more incomes to the people. What do I mean? For us to transform agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and the blue economy sectors and mining, we need good roads, road infrastructure. That is a support infrastructure. Power, electricity. Then we have what we call county aggregation and industrial parks, because we have to move to value addition. And Governor, we need to have a conversation. We see how we can support you to expedite the Tharaka Nithi County Aggregation and Industrial Park. Hiyo ndio kazi ya Deputy President. Kama kuna KAIP Tharaka Nithi, anatatua. The next county, anatatua. The other county, anatatua. Sio kungojea rais. Kazi yangu ni kureport progress. Alafu ikikamilika, rais akuja afungue. Si namna hiyo? So, we are building roads. Support infrastructure is roads. It is electricity. It is the county aggregation and industrial parks. In some counties, regions, we have special economic zones, which are part of that infrastructure. We are also building markets so that you have dignified places where trade can take place, and an aggregation and value addition center so that we stop selling raw materials. We add value. And some of the value addition required is very small. Kama ni ndengu, if you just sort the ndengu and just make sure that you remain with the best, then you package nicely in 2 kilogram or 1 kilogram pack, and you brand it as a product of Tharaka Nithi. That is already value addition. It will improve the price significantly, other than using mukebwa kembo to pour the ndengu, and some of it is rotten, some of it, the price will just shoot up. That is what supermarkets do. They will buy it at 70 shillings, they go sort it, they package it, they put it in the shelf, and they sell at 200 shillings. What have they done? Sorting, packaging, and branding. Total of that value addition is less than 5 shillings. They bought at 70. But the presentation is so good. So when Professor Kitaka goes to the supermarket, when he's coming from the university, he will buy that at 200 shillings. But the fellow selling it at Nkondi sold it for 70. The supermarket has gotten twice the value. Supermarket hana shamba, halimi, havuni, ako papo anangojea mkulima wa Nkondi tu alime, alafu he is getting twice what the farmer is getting. These things look like abstract, but that's how you transform a community. That's how you transform a country. And as I said, transformative actions are not popular because people want the things they can see now. Later on, when these things start realizing, that's when people say, oh, President Ruto had a point. But by that time, he will be completing his second term and going home. Yeah? As they say, before you realize your father was right, you already have a son who thinks you're wrong. And for the ladies, before you realize your mother was right, you already have a daughter who thinks you're wrong. So it's okay, we are not looking for popularity. The time for popularity will come, and we'll converse popularity politics at the right time. The third thing we are doing is investing in the housing program. People don't understand the housing program. The housing program sorts out many things. One, it increases the Human Development Index of Kenya. One of the reasons why some countries are top among the rich countries of the world is the quality of dwellings, houses that their people live in. Singapore, for example, is the most developed country in the world. It is 99% of the citizens of Singapore are home owners. Almost everybody. And when the president, the visionary leader of that country started that program, about 40 years ago. He was almost impeached. Exactly what we are doing 40 years later is what Singapore did 40 years ago. He was almost impeached. Oh, we have houses. Tuko na nyumba. You know, cheap thinking. You don't understand economics. Kila mtu ako na nyumba. So, even introduce compulsory savings. Mandatory by law in Singapore. You must save. It is your money. Kama hii NSSF tumeongeza. NSSF is money for the retiree. But we force you to save so that you have enough package to go home so that you don't retire and die the following day because after 40 years, you have accumulated so little. So the housing program is helping us in the Human Development Index. Kenya's growth and development will rise. The housing project is helping us absorb some youths who are idle for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Don't ask us what they will do after that. By that time, we'll have another program. So between staying idle in the markets and heckling leaders and being busy in a construction site for the next 2, 3 years, which one is better? And better keep them busy. They earn every day. So by the time they finish that project or that program, we'll have made other interventions for them. And the people who are opposing the housing project have jobs and they have houses. It is also helping us to resuscitate the construction sector, cement, steel, sand, all those things that go into construction. That industry, in the construction industry, will be revived because of that involvement. Number 4, we are, because macroeconomic stability, then you have a revitalization of critical sectors where we get our livelihood from. Then there's the housing program. And then number 4, it is jobs. It's jobs. And I don't have time to say what we are doing right now and going forward on job creation, but we must reduce the number of our jobless youths. We have no option. We are doing it through temporary jobs in some of the programs like the Affordable Housing Program and also in the Climate Works Program, which we are now going to roll out. We have Nairobi now engaged 20,000 youths. We will double it to 40,000 youths. We want every county to be a center for climate works, similar to what used to be called Kazi Mtaani, at least to keep our young people busy for the time being as we work on the long-term interventions. But we are also encouraging our young people who are young and educated, who cannot get the jobs we are providing. If they get jobs abroad, let them go and work, invest at home, save. When they want to come back after 5, 10 years, they can always come back. There are people saying we are doing labor export. We are not exporting Kenyans. We are just doing what is known as labor mobility. The same way, many children were born in Tharaka, Nithi, but they work in Mombasa today. They go home after 3 months or 6 months or at the end of the year. They are still children and sons and daughters of Tharaka, Nithi, but they work in Mombasa, isn't it? What is the difference if the person is working in Dubai, the one who doesn't have the job in Mombasa? There's no problem. In fact, the person in Dubai, when they are coming home, will reach Tharaka Nithi before the person coming from Mombasa reaches Tharaka Nithi. Because it's under 5 hours to Jomo Kenyatta and 2 hours there. Huyu mwingine akikalia barabara kutoka hapo Kilindini, kufika Nairobi 8 hours. Na amechoka. Another transfer, another 3, 4 hours. Tafika the following day. So in a modern world, between keeping our youths idle and getting them jobs anywhere, we would rather get them jobs wherever we get a job. They invest, they save, they are always welcome to come back home. So tunasema we have programs for kazi kwa ground, kazi mtandaoni, na kazi majuu. We are also creating ICT jobs. Hiyo ndio kazi mtandaoni. ICT, through the ICT hubs, digital jobs, content creators, then the creative economy. So we have that job agenda, which we are pushing extremely hard to make sure that that we need. So I'm left with two last ones, that is health and education. All the five I have mentioned are in the economic sector. The two last priorities for this government are in the social sector. One is health. SHA is not working, SHA is not working, SHA is not working. Before 2022, the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, covered only 9 million Kenyans, adults and children, including the secondary school children, 9 million, through EduAfya. To be eligible to join NHIF, you must either have a payslip or some other ability to pay the subscription. True or false? NHIF, either uko na payslip ama uko na uwezo wa kulipa ile subscription. Today, after just rolling it out for 3 months, and we are going to continue for the next 3 years, we have 18.5 million Kenyans with a medical insurance, from 9 to 18. We will push it to 40, 45, 50 million. That is what we call universal health coverage. Why? Because it is not only the employed people and the people who can pay who fall sick. See, everybody gets sick. Si kila mtu anakuwa mgonjwa. Why have an NHIF that caters for somebody with a payslip and somebody with ability to pay? Taifa Care, SHA, universal health coverage, is to make sure every citizen have a medical insurance to take care of their medical needs when they fell ill, because everybody falls ill. That is the aim. Many countries have struggled with universal health care. It's very problematic. In America, Obama brought it in 2016. The Supreme Court dismantled parts of it. It's very political. But it is very transformative for every Kenyan to have an insurance. Why? Because, as I have said, everybody falls sick. Kila mtu anakuwa mgonjwa. Number two, for us to ensure that every Kenyan is insured, we must look at our contribution schedule. Taka tusikizane vizuri, ndio nyinyi sasa ndio mnaenda kuwa mabalozi kule mashinani. For us to insure every Kenyan, we must look at how much everybody is contributing. Okay? As deputy president, as a senator, as members of parliament, governor, everybody, the top contributor was being surcharged 1,700 per month. Whether you earn 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, 1.5, you pay 1,700. The poor woman in Itogororo, the poor woman in Makori, the poor woman in Kalangasheni was paying to be part of NHIF 500 shillings. Is that fair? Is that fair? Rais anatoa 1,700, wabunge 1,700, mama mboga with nothing 500. So what this universal health care has done, we have said those who earn more, you be deducted a little more, you pay a little more to allow us pay for everybody, including the person who cannot raise any money for the insurance. And that's where you are having the discomfort. The discomfort is coming from me as deputy president, or from the member of parliament, or from the governor, because we are paying more. So that our relatives who calls us for Arambe every week, 5, 10 Arambes, stop fundraising and stop selling their land. We are paying a little more. It's a bit uncomfortable, so that all our relatives, our neighbors, can each have an insurance fund scheme. That's why people are opposing it. So ukisikia vita, ni vita ya watu ya siasa. Deputy President, Governor, mbunge, because hao wabunge, wacha niseme tu because nilikuwa senator juzi. Walikuwa wanakatwa 1700. Sasa wanakatwa 30,000. They are the ones opposing it, sio hawa from other places. Now your 30,000 is so that you stop doing 100 harambes in your constituency every day. In fact, you spend more money in those harambes than the 30,000 to ensure everybody gets a medical insurance. So, na tumesema ule mtu ya mwisho tumepunguza sio 500 ni 300. So how can you oppose a cheaper medical scheme? Na tumesema we are developing a means testing tool so that the person who is assessed and they can't pay the 300, they get the insurance free of charge. Hapo ndio fitina inakujia hapo. Because wale wako na pesa wataki kunini, wanataka kukaa hapo, watu maskini huko chini wao wana beg and worshiping them to come and do fundraisers for them, because they have sold the farm, they have sold the cow, they have sold the chicken, they have sold everything. They are poor, the last resort. Mheshimiwa DP kuja tuchangie harambee. And because you want to keep people needy, you oppose it so that you will be there to throw a few coins. Alafu napigwa makofi. Hey, Mheshimiwa, you are a great man. May you live forever. Okay? It took the courage of President Obama to get Obamacare in America. Although the Supreme Court amended it a bit, it is what is serving America today. And we thank God Obama became president before the current president, because I don't think it would have sailed through under the current administration. So, President Kibaki, brilliant son of Kenya, tried to bring universal health coverage. Politics stood on the way. And he was advised by the characters around it, let us be popular. Sisi tuko na insurance. Acha watu wafanye mambo yao. President Ruto, or President Uhuru, before I come to President Ruto, well-meaning, well-intentioned, introduced housing, introduced universal health care. Politics came through. He pulled back. Good people, this time round, we are not pulling back. By the grace of God, by the time we go to the next general election, we are hoping 35,000, 40,000 people of the Republic of Kenya will have a medical cover. As we go towards universality. Million, sorry, please correct that. I hope watu ya magazeti hawataenda ku. You guys sometimes concentrate on the small things. 35 million to 40 million. It doesn't matter how costly it is. Please. It doesn't matter. Even if we don't win the election, President Ruto doesn't win the election, it's okay. There's no problem. You'll have served as president anyway. Isn't it a blessing even to serve even for 5 years, even for 1 year, even for 1 day? How many Kenyans are there? Every Kenyan is qualified to be president. If you are lucky to be in the seats we occupy, including UMPs, including myself, including you, Governor, don't consider yourself like a superhuman. It's the grace of God. Yeah, so usitutishe ati rais a one-term president. And pia watu wengine wanatutisha huko jana. Ati our job is to make sure William Ruto is a one-term president. That is your objective. Hiyo tu. Just that. And you will have achieved a lot. President Ruto is lucky to be among the 5 Kenyans who have occupied the seat of President of Kenya. Some, 24 years. Others, 10 years. If he gets 5, so be it. If he gets how many days, so be it. There are many qualified people. The same for me. I told you when I became Minister for Interior, niliangalia siasa nikasema, at least hii first time labda nitaserve hapa. Maybe if we win a re-election, maybe the president will take me in another ministry, I don't know. But I thought perhaps I would stay for 5 years. I stayed for 2. So I had to work every day as if that is the last day in office. Yeah. Mimi nimekuwa naibu wa rais. Today is the 89th day in office. I am working as if this is it. Hakuna siku ingine ni hii tu. That's how I'm working, because you don't know. We live and work by the grace of God. There was somebody in this office. Today he's not here. Now he's giving us ultimatum from funerals. How he will make William Ruto a one-term president, as if that is an achievement. William Ruto's objective is not to serve for 2 terms. It is to use the time that God will give him in office to bring transformative programs in 1, 2, 3 areas and then leave so that other people can come and take Kenya forward. As his principal assistant, that is my objective too, to support him. So msikuja kututisha na 1 term, my friend. Mimi kwanza nimekuwa DP 89 days ni mingi. Yeah, nikitoka nitakuwa nimekuwa deputy president. Listi kisomo hata mimi nitakuwa hapo. Unatishwa na mambo kidogo hapa, sijui 2027, who will be the running mate, mambo ya upuzi. Useless. Na greed, that's what greed does to leaders. Yeah. Ile nyama inakujonga ni ile iko kwa sahani. Yeah. You get something and the next thing you're there scheming, I don't know, doing what, harassing everybody. My friend, nani alikuambia hata tutakuwa ile? You don't know, so please. So sisi tuko focus. Na kama unatutisha na 1 term, tafuta another threat. Even 1 term is okay. Yeah, it's no problem. But the issue is, after that 1 term, what will he say? If William Ruto will say, at the end of my first term, I have moved the people insured with a health card from 9 million to 40 million, he will be a successful Kenyan. Sindio? Yeah, so sisi tuko hapo. Then we also want to do educational reforms, because education is what runs the entire country. It's the software that runs the country. And we have issues. The CBC had some issues when we were campaigning. Many parents were saying, scrap CBC. So we had to do some adjustment, and I'm grateful to the scholars and the people who are in the Presidential Working Party. They have re-looked at some of the proposals. CBC now is fairly getting steady. But we have issues with the university funding model. Many universities were almost becoming bankrupt. We came with a new model. There are some small issues in court. We are even adjusting for the September intake to take on board the suggestions that have been given. If you talk to many vice chancellors today, they'll tell you this current proposal from Kenya Kwanza is more stable to the university than what we used to have before. There are some gaps. We are adjusting those gaps. The same with health. There are some gaps in Taifa Care, but we are adjusting those gaps along the way. And let me tell you, good people, it is better to have an imperfect health coverage for every Kenyan than no coverage at all. Sinamna hiyo? If every Kenyan has a card, maybe as insurance, maybe it is not perfect, because all human enterprises are not perfect. But that's a better conversation, how we can perfect it, than millions of our people begging alms, literally begging And their leaders spending their entire whatever they have. Some even go into their businesses to fund medical harambes. So, the reason we are focused on Taifa Care, housing, reviving these sectors, I have said, macroeconomic stability, support infrastructure. The reason is because they will transform Kenya. They will make Kenya better than we found it 2 years ago. Many more people will have bearable living conditions than they were when we took over. Even the process we suffer popularity consequences, so be it. I conclude by saying, sasa nyinyi mnatoka Tharaka Nithi. Deputy President of Kenya alizaliwa hapo. Please, I have no power to, whatever you decide is within your power. Maybe elsewhere I have some power, I have some leverage, but at home I have no power. Because you are my neighbors, you are my relatives. So you decide. Nyinyi decide. Decide. Mimi I cannot come there now at the campaign center yangu ni Marimandi. By the time utoke hapo ufike Sigalagala, ama Lungalunga, ama sijui Kor. So nyinyi, mi naomba kwa heshima munisaidie. Muniombee jameni. Muniombee. Muombee rais. Muombee rais, and don't be cheated by anybody. What is the alternative? Kalonzo and Wajakoya? Ati serikali tulitafuta kwa jasho miaka mingi. Mimi, I've been around President Ruto for 18 years. All my youth have been around that man. Today is the president. He is the only man between me and the whole country. Then I start sabotaging him. Ati nianze kumchimba? Aha, takuwa mchinga wa mwisho. So we will do whatever it takes. Mimi naomba tu kwa heshima, because I can't sasa kina Kithoka au ni watu ya nyumbani, kina Gaturo, mmeona hapa, ni watu ya home. Naona watu ya home hapa kina Anita. Sasa sitaki tukuje tusukumane hapo nyumbani, please. Please, sitaki. And also be careful what you say, especially the things you put on social media. Because the whole country now is watching you. If you speak thinking you are an MCA, nobody knows you. The fact that you are an MCA from Tharaka Nithi, the whole country wants to hear what is the MCA from Tharaka Nithi saying. Sinamna hiyo? Na wanasema Tharaka Nithi kule kwa deputy president. Sindio? So please, in a home, huwezi kosa kukosana. Tunatafuta viti hapa, tunapinga sijui nani, tunataka hii kiti, na tuko wengi, mnavurugana hapo. Lakini sasa hapa juu tuwe careful tusiharibu. Na tuwe careful vile tunaongea, because majirani na watu wa Kenya wanaangalia. Huyu mwenzangu alitolewa kwa kiti kwa kuongea mambo ya nyumbani kasoro hekima. Hakuna mtu aongeangi mambo ya nyumbani, lakini kwa heshima, kwa hekima, kwa hekima. So don't push me. Ati tunataka deputy president tutangazie. So unataka nikae hapo niseme, mimi napenda sana mlima, sijui napenda Tharaka Nithi. Havana. I've told you Kibaki never even spoke Kikuyu. Not once. If you try to talk Kikuyu to Kibaki, he would have slapped you. Yet, he is the person who impacted on Kenya and on the economy of central Kenya most consequentially than any other president. Napenda nyinyi, nawapenda. Hujajenga choo, hujajenga barabara, hujaita watu kuongea mambo ya ndengu ama majani chai, haujazungumzia chochote. Oh, nawapenda sana. Au wengine ni komerera. Nimwambia huyu mtu, nikamwambia wacha kupigana na wabunge. Watakuumiza. Those are, you know. Sasa unajua nikiona Murugara anataka kuniharibia ama Pato, what I will do, nitamuita pole pole. Si Pato ni kijana yangu. Tukiwa na Njoki hapa, tamwambia sasa, please, Pato, tumetoka mbali. Unajua, please, as your father, usinitoe nguo mbele ya watu. Lakini nikianza kumuita komerera, atika kunea. Amepata barabara ya kuteremkia. Na ni mteremko, amepata mtu mkubwa wa kupigana naye. I'm telling you. Bana. Ati sasa mtu ya Tharaka Nithi ndiye anaenda hapo kusema ati hatutaki nani. I will feel very hopeless. So nikiona kinaumana, si najua hao watu wote. Kama ni mama, my mother there Gatiria, namwambia najua nimekukosea, lakini mama, hata kama unachapa kijana, ni pole pole. Wakati tuko kuna kamera, kuna yeah, so naomba tuhifadhi. Me, I'm not saying you should not compete. In fact, the pressure you put on me now and in the future is how those who will not get seats, how we will accommodate them in government. And I've already seen some of them hapa. That is the pressure I want. Lakini sio kwa mtandao. Ukiweka kwa mtandao tunakozana. Kwa sababu sasa uko pamoja na maadui wangu. Ule ako kwa mtandao ni adui. So ukiingia huko tunapita na wewe huko. Yes. But the healthy thing is to say, you know, tuko na viongozi wetu, where can we fix this one? How do we support this area? Na tujue Kenya to take the country forward, and that's the heavy task President Ruto has. He needs to carry the entire country. He needs to be the father figure of the whole nation. Every part of Kenya needs to feel him and have benefits from his administration. So nataka nikomee hapo na washukuru sana. Mimi leo ni siku ya Tharaka Nithi. We are going to proceed as follows. We are going to take a short break. But we will take the short break. For 10 minutes, we take a cup of tea. And then for 20 minutes, we look for space. We have enough space here, kwa hii compound. We go into constituency groups. Si tuko na constituency tatu. But I want to persuade you, we create a fourth constituency. And that is the constituency of women, children, affairs, PWDs. I know we have our women rep who normally their mandate is around that agenda, and it can be lost if it is lumped with the general development issues. Because these are sectors that require affirmative action and special measures, even under the Constitution. So between the women rep, I am told now you are vying for a different seat, but you are still the women rep. Ama umewacha? Okay, bado uko pale. Plus those who are, it's okay mweshi. Plus those who are looking for the seat. Aspirants wote wako hapa. Sio ni agenda yao, ndio tawachia vile whoever carries the vote will be our women rep. So that cluster ikuwe separate, iongee ya maneno for 30 minutes. So 10 minutes for tea, 30 minutes for constituency groups, 4 of them. You caucus and agree, each of those groups, you will agree on 5 priorities that you require from this government. You have heard the things I've said for the last 1.5 hours. Useme sisi kama Mara, we have these tolled roads, tunataka zote, serikali ikiwezekana, itafute pesa to complete these roads. Number 2, we have this major water project. There are many other water projects, but this major one. Number 3, maybe electricity. Number 4, just 5 priority areas. Si namna hiyo? The governor, the Excellency Mdhomi Njoki, and the woman rep, and the senator, the honorable senator, because they are county leaders, they are free to hop into the different groups so that they don't look like they belong to one corner. If they choose to, but they don't have to be there. The members of parliament, you can choose either to join your constituency or you appoint someone to run the consensus. We know these things. It's just that we want to build broader consensus. So after the 40 minutes total now, we come back for the plenary. For plenary, every constituency to identify somebody to read out the 5 priorities. You'll be given 3 minutes, every constituency. And I suggest it should not be the member of parliament reading. Mutafute mtu mwingine hapo, ndiye hata yeye awe ndiye ana address deputy president. Mimi nitaketi pale na notebook. So mmoja akuja hapa kwa Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe, wa Tharaka akuja hapa, wa Mara akuja hapa, wa those special interest group akuja hapa. After that, and don't give speeches. Just say we agreed for our 5 priorities are 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 minutes you sit down. Hakuna haja hata ya protocols. So you already established the protocols. Sema tu ongea, just talk. And then after that, we will, because today is not a political day, it's not a day to talk. It was a day for me to tell you what I expect from you and what you should expect from me. Isn't it? After we report those in those groups, we will make munajipanga mambo ya kesho. This is not the place. So on behalf of the MCAs, the speaker utasema tu jambo, but not as an aspirant for Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe. Kwa sababu hapo mnavurugana na pato. So today is not the day. Siku ile mutarudi, you can continue with your maneno. Ule atapata, akuwe mbunge. Ule atakosa, muniletee ni mutafutie mahali kwa serikali. Because both of them are my brothers. Number 2, then on behalf of MCAs, we'll ask the constituent MPs, just 1 minute each. Then the senator, the women rep, the senator, the governor. Then finally, I'll ask maybe a member of the clergy or other people, or maybe the professionals. One professional to come and give us 2, 3 sentences, because again today we'll have a meeting with professionals alone, because your input cannot be transacted in a 5 minute whatever. So the professionals can agree, one of them, and then the clergy, the clergy will come and close for us with the blessings, with a prayer, and after that, we will go for lunch. After the lunch, maybe before we go for lunch, we will remain here. Maybe the leaders will retreat, we all remain here, so that you'll be given the logistical information of how you'll go home. And for the Gen Zs, the offer of the swimming pool is still valid. And it's a serious offer.